Hello, everyone. It's great to have you all on board. It's another time with Tutor.io, the enthusiastic tutor. And in today's tutorial, it happens to be another of our classes on the course Pole 301. And today, Pole 301. And today, it's going to be a continuation from where we have stopped. It's been a wonderful one so far. And like I said earlier, the course is very, very versatile. It's a very wide course. So we can't rush things. We have to take things one step at a time. All right? We have to take things one step at a time, considering the fact that the course has a lot to do with research work. And like I made mention earlier, when we started this course, I said if we do not pass this course in your 300 level, all right, you will not be automatically allowed to register your project in your final year. All right. So that brings us to the junction whereby understanding that the course must be passed and not just passed, all right, but must be passed with good grades. Very, very essential. It makes it important, it makes it essential, all right, to note. It's very important to note that you need to pass this course with good grades. All right. So that's why we're taking our time to break things down properly, taking our time to explain things in detail. All right. So the problem or the issue that you might be facing when you want to write your exam, when you want to write your project, can be attended to now. Okay. So for those of us who are new to the stream, let's ensure to smash the like button. All right. As well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. And for those of us who might be interested in becoming a member of the private class, let's ensure to reach out to Tutor.io today on our official website, which is www.tutor.io.net. You find the WhatsApp button on the top right hand corner. You use the WhatsApp button to send Tutor.io a direct message. All right. And from there, it will guide you, all right, on how to join the private class. So today, let's go into things. Now, today, we're going to be taking our bearing from what it means by scientific research process. Okay? When you talk about scientific research, what is the process involved? All right? When we talk about scientific research, there's a process involved. So the process involved in conducting scientific research is what we're going to take our bearing from in today's class. Now, scientific research, all right, scientific research process. Now, when we talk about scientific research process, we are simply referring to, all right, very important process to be considered when taking upon your scientific research. A research process can be scientific if and if only it follows the. Are we together? What makes a scientific research process, what makes a research process scientific if it only follows the steps, all right, of scientific inquiry. Now, note that not all research process are scientific. A research process is considered scientific. Are we together? A research process is considered scientific if and if only a research process is considered scientific. Okay? If and if only, just a moment. Just a moment. It is said to be scientific if and if only it follows the steps, if and if only it follows the steps of scientific inquiry. If and if only it what? Follows the steps of scientific inquiry. The steps of scientific inquiry. Then we can see that yes, this research is scientific. But if otherwise, we can as well conclude that the research is not scientific. So now, this process, all right, if it follows the steps, now let's consider the steps. What are the steps? Okay, what are these steps we are referring to? Let's consider them very quickly. We have about 9 steps. Okay, we have about 9 of them. The very first one, it says here that identification of the problem. Identification. That's the very first step. Then we also have the postulation of research question. Let's just call that the working of hypothesis. Or let's call it hypothesis formulation. Let's put it as formulation of hypothesis. Formulation of hypothesis. The formulation of hypothesis. Okay? Now, you know what the problem is? Then you need to put up your guesses. All right? Your possible guesses. Remember, we call hypothesis possible guesses. Not too far away from the said topic or from the said research problem. Okay? Possible guesses. Then you can bring, after that, you can bring on board. Just a moment. Okay. Then after that, you can bring on board to refer to as, okay, what we refer to as specification of the levels and units of analysis. All right. So let's just call this research analysis. Are we together? Research analysis, where you begin to analyze what is the essence, what do you intend to achieve with the research, or what does the research work intend to achieve, all right? And how does this benefit, or how does this become achievable? You begin to analyze Then we talk about research analysis. Thereafter, we move straight to literature review. Okay. Literature review. Where you begin to review a lot of literatures. All right. You begin to get your journals, get your materials. All right. Going through all of these reviews to grab one or two things in order to support to grab one or 2 points in order to support your research work. Okay. Okay. That was the thing from the service provider. I think the network is stable a little bit now. So after your literature review, then the next thing you want to consider is the research method. All right. What method? What method will you be applying? All right. During the course of your research. The research method. What method do you intend to apply during the course of your research? Then we also have data collection. How do you intend to collect data? How do you intend to gather? And don't forget, data is a very important part of research. Data collection. Trust we can see what I have there. Okay. It does not end at data collection. Then we also have, after you have gathered your data, all right, the next one is data analysis. Okay, after you have gathered your data, you analyze the data, then you present and interpret. Present and interpret. All right, or interpretation of data. All right, and lastly, the reporting of results. Reporting. Now, this reporting of results is the all and sundry of your project. All right, has it been successful? The intention, the reason, the purpose of starting this project, has it been achieved? All right, has it been successfully achieved? Has the solution been provided? Has an upgrade been done? Has the way forward been figured out? This is where you have your presentation of reporting of facts. So we have that as that. Now let's go straight to okay. Now I want to talk about research methodology. Okay, research methodology is still here. Now, one thing you need to understand about research methodology is that research methodology is the crux, the most important, all right, the crux, the essential, the most essential, okay, part of your project. It is the crux of the research report. It is the background against which the reader evaluates the findings and conclusion. This is where you make sense of what you have discovered. And in turn, you need to provide solution. That's why it says it is the crux, the CRUX. CRUX. It is the crux of the research report. Now, research methodology involves step-by-step procedures so that another researcher could replicate the method in any situation. As effective as research methodology is, all right, it is simply saying that, excuse me, I don't know who's calling me by this time. Hopefully, I'll be in the class. Please pardon me that. All right, it is so important that it will explain step upon step, step by step, how you started your research, what you were able to get, and how you applied it. That is what research methodology does. And that's why it's said to be the crux. All right? Said to be the crux. Are we together? Of the research report. Now, this research methodology goes, okay, that was the thing from the network. I think it's stable now. Okay. It's a bit stable now. Can we all hear me? Can we all hear me? All right. Can we all hear me? Let's use the comment section to respond. Wonderful, wonderful, yes. Wonderful, awesome. Yes. Thank you very much for that, Mrs. Regina. Just wanted to know because the network just destabilized the class a moment ago, and I needed to be sure, loud and clear. Wonderful. Okay. Now let's continue. Okay. Now, as we were discussing, we were saying something about there was a discussion on what it means by population. Okay. And when we talk about population, what are we simply referring to? Okay. When we talk about population, what are we simply referring to? Now, population can be seen, all right, as the designated. I think I should erase the uppermost, all right, uppermost part of the board, and we can have some part. Okay, let's leave the steps. Let's erase this because I want to write stick something down together. Okay, when we say population, we are simply referring to the designated part of a unit from which a sample is drawn. Part of a universe. When we were in 100 level second semester, we did something called set theory. All right. And when we were doing set theory, we have something called the universe. All right. And in the universe, we have sets. Okay? Universe could be 1, 3, 5, 7, 11. All right? Set A could be 7, 5, and 1. B, all right, could be 11. Right? Now, when you look at set A and set B, what we have in here, the elements of the universe, all right, elements that makes up the universe, you look at set A and set B, they make up the element of the universe. What are we trying to say here? That set A, set B, set whatever is always from a particular universe. Meaning that these sets are being extracted from a universal set, which is this. All right? Now, let's definition. Population is said to be a designated part. When we say designated, a selected part, an area of concentration, an area of intention, an area of, all right, designated part, whereby a sample is being. So from what we can see here now, this is a sample of the universal set, meaning that it is a small portion from the universal set that has been selected and separated. All right? Separating it from the universal set could be for studying this particular sample further for better clarification. We might be of the opinion can from that 36 states get 12 states as the sample. All right, from what you get from the 12 states capital, then you can make your sure, right? That if I can get this from 12 states, then this is what you should be getting. You are doing the whole population. All right. So the sample drawn from the population makes the research work a little bit easy. All right, and well concentrated. So we have that as that. So under population is where we have sample. Call it sample size. So now proper definition for is the designated part, all right, the designated part of a universe from which a sample is drawn. Since it is not possible to study the entire population, the sample selected is representative of the population. Are we together? Can we get the point? Do we get the point here? Okay. Now let's continue. Thank you very much for that. We've been able to talk about in just this little space, we've been able to talk about population as well as sample size. So I want us to take a step further. I want to cover some things before we call it wrap for today's class. Now, there's something called variable. All right, it's not something we should be writing on the board because it's something and it's quite self-explanatory. Something we must have come across, most especially in our previous semester when we were doing economics. All right, statistics as well. So when we say variable, we are simply referring to, all right, numerals or values, all right, assigned for a specific purpose. Okay, variable is a symbol to which numerals or values are assigned. a symbol. Now, scientists tend to call properties they study variables. Why? Because they change. All right. From time to time, they change. You can't hold them by the wrist. They are not fixated. That's why scientists call them variables, because they are under observation. So it's a symbol to which numerals or values are assigned. Let's take that down. Variables can be referred to as a symbol to which numerals or values are assigned. Scientists tend to call them properties, all right, they study. Scientists intend to call the properties they study variables. Please note that. And we have the types of variables: independent, dependent, interviewing, all right, dichotomous, all right. We have dichotomous, I beg your pardon, dichotomous variable, active and attributes variables, all right, and we have the likes of that. All are explained here, but we might not have all the time to go into details, so we are going to restrict that to people, to students in the private class during our Telegram class. Can explain properly on that. Now, very quickly, I want us to talk on the nature of measurement. The nature. What is the nature of measurement, you ask? Wonderful. Measurement is very important in research, all right, because it consists of numbers to empirical events in compliance with sets of rules. Everything you want to do, you want to be on point. When we talk about the nature of measurement, it is very important in research work, as it consists of numbers, consists of numbers to empirical events. Okay, empirical events in compliance, in compliance. I think that is too short. I think I should write here like this. All right. So certain compliance with, all right, a set of rules. Rules, their standards, their yardstick. When you talk about measurement, you must follow. So now, types of measurements, the likes of quantitative and qualitative. Now, just like we have known before now, when we talk about qualitative, you can assign number to that. But quantitative, you can assign number to it. All right? This is more of categories. Qualitative, since we can't number qualitative, they are better off calculated or categorized. They are better off categorized as, all right, categories. They are better off classified as categories. For example, ethnic groups, religion, sex, age, and the like. All right. Sorry about the use of that word. All right. Gender. That's what I was supposed to say. Like I usually say on the stream. So disclaimer: we don't encourage violence. All right. We don't instigate. All right. Inappropriate things. All we do here is to educate, to teach, educate using the course material provided by the university. So we have that as that. So here is where we call it wrap for today. And in our next class, I want us to take it off from data properties, measurement of data properties. All right. So thank you very much, everyone. I believe you have been able to gain something in today's class. Let's ensure to keep our notes up to date and send them to the appropriate quarters. Do have a wonderful evening and bye for now.